Since being in China, I've been more methodical in the way I've been thinking. I've been more intentional. I've been doing everything with purpose lately. I've actually been taking things in my life seriously for once. I don't know what it is about being here.
Going to China changed my life, and I wasn't ever even really planning on going to China. I had to go last minute, got my visa much easier than I thought it would be to get a visa to go there, because I had to go there for work. I had to go visit factories. I had to make new connections immediately. And honestly, life taking me there has transformed how I think and feel and how I view other people so much. Going to China changed my brain chemistry. The feeling of being safe there as a woman was just so unsettling at first, because I felt like it shouldn't be real.
I've noticed something troubling. Whenever people share their travel experiences in China, creators often face serious backlash. They always have to fight with these negative comments that opposes their perspective. And why is it difficult for us to openly talk about what we actually see and experience there? How? And so many questions remain unanswered just because someone shows a side of China that isn't negatively painted. So let me ask this question directly. Why is it considered wrong to see what's the good in China? Why is showing positive somehow controversial? For years, we know that judgment have been shaped by a long-standing negative image. But what's wrong with seeing what's right? Because China has been painted as this horrific place where if you go, you will just lose your life. But what's wrong with seeing just what it was all about and dismantling all these lies? Why?
I actually miss China.
We're seeing things differently, and let me explain a paradigm shift. I want to live as many lives as possible. Life is too short to be in one place forever. So I get a lot of comments like this, like, give it a few years. A few years? Great. I hope to be here a few years and love a few years of China. And then if I get sick of it, I can move somewhere else and enjoy another place. Comments like, oh, you can't really move to China. What do you think moving means? What do you think living means? You can live for any amount of time, whatever makes you happy, stay there for as long as you want, and then move on if you're not enjoying it. Life can be whatever you want to make it. And right now, this is our China era, and we're loving it. I don't have the mindset that I have to stay in one place my entire life until I die to be living somewhere. And that's fine if that's what you think. I'm just explaining a different perspective. If you like adventure, if you want to get out and see the world for even a couple years, 1 year, my wife and I, we lived in China before for 1 year. It was an amazing experience. We talk about it all the time. It changed our lives. Now we brought our son back, and I'm so happy. If things change in the future, they change. That's part of life. Things keep growing, they evolve, they move, they change. It's all good.
I have lived and worked in 4 different countries all around the world, and I've never experienced the interrogation and frankly racist comments that I have since choosing to live and work in China. Whether it's from people that I've known for decades or people that I've just met. Whenever I say I live and work in China to someone from the West, it is crazy the things that they come out with. And I constantly feel like I'm defending my choice to live and work in China and to make videos about how nice my life is here. I don't think I or anyone knows of any country where racism does not exist, but simply by posting these videos on the internet, the comments that people come out with and have no shame to comment on some randomer's video on the internet, and they have no shame to be racist, openly, overtly racist on the internet just because it's China. Of course, this partly comes from jealousy. And this also comes from the US choosing to spend $1.6 billion on a smear campaign against China because they want to make China look weaker than the US, which again is jealousy. And my channel has no place for racism against any race. And I delete and I block frequently to filter this out because I just don't want it on here. I don't want Chinese people to be reading it. I don't want other people to be reading it and taking it on and thinking that they can express that as well. There's no place for it here, and there shouldn't be any place for it anywhere in the world. The irony is, this is a Chinese app. So if you really don't like China that much, go somewhere else. I am here to answer any questions that you may have and block you if I don't like what you're saying on my channel. This is my channel. It's like my home. You come into my home and I don't want you here, goodbye. Thank you for watching, and yeah, it's terrible.
So I've been seeing a lot of videos talking about the rise of China-boos, and in 2022 I was one of less than 200 American students studying in China, and I really wanted to talk about this topic because I feel like I have a lot to add to this. So first of all, I don't really think it makes sense to call these people like China-boos, because the thing is, these people are not drawn to China because of its soft power. Like, you're not seeing people moving to China because they're interested in TikTok or Labubus or anything like that. You're seeing people moving to China because of its social and economic development, or people who suddenly have an interest in moving there. It doesn't really make sense to me to start calling these people like China-boos, because like they're going there for their interest in China's history and its culture and honestly its rise in power. They're not going there because of its soft power, like for example what you see with K-pop or like K-dramas or anime. So I think honestly that comparison is a little bit ridiculous. Now, I definitely did meet people who were there for the wrong reasons, but those people were definitely amongst the minority, and the overwhelming majority of people I met who were living there were actively engaging in its culture and, you know, trying to talk to people who they met, like strangers, and at least making some sort of attempt to learn the language. And I don't really think it's fair to like lump these people into a juvenile category of people who are just like hopping on some sort of trend. Like, that might be the case for some people, but let me just say right now, the people who I met when I was living there were some of the most educated and like most intelligent people who I've ever met in my life. And even now, I'm getting my master's in the UK with doing a program with the London School of Economics and Fudan University, which is one of China's top universities. And even the people who are in my program are literally geniuses. And most of them are interested in China because of its rise in power. They're not going there because of weird reasons or like because of soft power stuff. People who have had an interest in Chinese culture and have been living in China have existed for a very long time, and I don't think a lot of people really know this, and you wouldn't really know this until you actually like move there or if you live there. They've existed for a very long time. My professors at my university had been living there for like years and years and years, and they're experts on China, or I mean not even experts, like some people are just have an interest in living there, or they're living there for different reasons, and most of them are just interested in its culture or its history, and it's literally like one of the oldest countries in the entire world and has one of the most extensive histories and has contributed so much to the entire world. The people you see who are drawn to China are genuinely like some of the most educated people you'll ever meet, and I will say yes, there are some weird people who are there for the wrong reasons. That subgroup of people definitely exists as well. Whenever I would used to see videos of people, you know, who are living in like Japan or Korea, for example, I could never relate to them. Because the types of foreigners that you meet in those countries, based on what I've been seeing on social media, are completely different people. And the people you'd meet who went there in recent years honestly made such a brave decision. Not only brave decision, but they were ahead of the curve, and the simple act of moving in China during the time that they moved to China was honestly a genius move. Those people simply saw through the propaganda. They saw through everything that the West was saying negatively about China, because if you really think about it, before the pandemic happened, there were tons of Americans moving and studying in China, and the only thing that changed was the Trump administration dragging China and the US suddenly spending billions of dollars on propaganda, anti-China propaganda. Americans have been studying in China for a very long time, and it was very normal, especially during the Obama administration. And they knew how important of a country it's going to be in the future. And honestly, anyone who chooses to study there in the future is honestly on the same wavelength, in my opinion. And I honestly do hope that more people start studying there, because it was such a valuable opportunity for me. It's done so much for my life. I've honestly gotten so many opportunities just from being there, and being there at the time that I was there. I'm literally studying at one of the best universities in the entire world, and what is now ranked as the best university in the UK because of my decision to study in China. Choosing to study the second most widely spoken language in the entire world is not something that should be seen or viewed as taboo. Honestly, it's one of the smartest things that you could do for yourself. Somebody told me or anyone else that they were studying in the United States and they were trying to learn English, you would not call that person an America-boo. So honestly, why is it any different when it comes to China? China-boos, if that's really what we want to call it, have existed for a very long time. Like, they have been around forever. It's just that they were part of such a taboo and minority group of people that they were so overlooked. And you know, everyone likes to say that, oh, I Show Speed was the first person who broke the propaganda against China, which, yeah, that might be true. Like, he was probably the most influential person who contributed to that. But the thing is, there have been a lot of people who have been trying to do that for a very long time. It's just that everyone ignored them, honestly, and it's a little bit sad. And I really hope this is a learning lesson for most people, because the thing is, we could have all avoided, like, oh, listening to all the US propaganda against China thing if we had just paid attention to the people who were actually living there during that time, because those people actually were trying to show you what China was really like the entire time, and they were so overlooked, and they honestly, like, they had no recognition for what they've done to this day. People who are living in any country have way more of a
This person is asking, how much is the Chinese government paying you to do these videos? Wouldn't you like to know? They're paying me a fortune. And that's why I have to leave my wife and daughter in China to come and work in Australia to pay the bills. That's how much China is paying me. But, to be honest, I enjoy making these videos about China and telling the world the truth about China. And I know for some in the West, the truth about China, it hurts deep down for them. Anyway, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
The irony of these kind of comments I get in my videos, like, these people are so indoctrinated by propaganda from the West or America that any positive thing they see coming from China is just like, oh, communism, bad, like, no critical thinking going on here at all. I'm not making it look nice for kids. It is nice for kids here. It's completely safe. China has an amazing education system. The teachers are fantastic. There's about 4 teachers in every classroom. The food is delicious and healthy. Just because something's going against your preconceived narrative of how a place should be doesn't mean that it's bad or that it's propaganda or that it's spreading communism. Like, nothing about this. This is just my child's kindergarten, and it's great kindergarten.
What has happened to the world where we are allowing racism to go under the guise of freedom of speech? We are allowing people to go around making racist comments just to protect freedom of speech. This man who commented a beautiful picture of him and his wife, who is not even Chinese, is receiving racist Chinese comments. Eating dogs comment in China is a racist comment. It is racist. It is racist. You can repackage it as a joke. It is racist to constantly assume that Chinese people eat dog. Many people say that comment to me in the UK, thinking that it's funny. You ask a Chinese person that and they are horrified. I don't know what's going on in the world where we are allowing comments like this to happen and still happen, and we're all acting and we're all bystanders to these comments if we're not being actively anti-racist, and or now saying that we need to protect freedom of speech. Because where are we going to draw the line where we are offending a nation, a very big nation with a lot of people, to protect freedom of speech? I'm really sorry too. Every day is great for us. I'm really sorry for you to receive these comments, and I'm always shocked when I hear of people's first-hand experiences of racism. I know that I'm sat here with my white privilege. I accept that, I acknowledge that, and that's why I work hard to be anti-racist in every way, not just for Chinese people and Asian people in general, just to be anti-racist. If anything that I said in this video you don't agree with, feel free to block me, unfollow me if you were even following me in the first place. I don't accept racism on my profile. This is my profile. If you're going to be racist, I block you as well. It's not welcome here. I needed to address this on this rainy Sunday afternoon in Shenzhen. I'm in my pajamas doing some work, and I was just very sad to read this comment. If you want to watch more videos of my life in China as a Brit living and working in China, please stick around, please follow me. I try and post as often as I can, and let me know if you have any more questions about me living and working in China. And I hope to see you in my next video. We can all be anti-racist. We can.
And it's, you know, all the people always going through being like, who's paying you to say nice things about China? Which is crazy, because the videos will be like, there's no homelessness here. They care about housing and food as a human right. And that angers people. And I really think it angers people because the concept, the same way it was so strange for me to go there and have people, you know, yes, people in China work super hard. It's very competitive, right? But at the same time, you have accessible housing. Housing is a right. There's not a homelessness problem everywhere because you're not priced out of a system and left to kind of die alone by the government. You're expected to kind of be like, okay, let's go re-educate you, get another job. There's so many things before homelessness becomes an issue, right? And ultimately, I think people are jealous. I'm jealous. I'm jealous that we couldn't have had that. I'm jealous that we spent billions and trillions of dollars on war and ensuring corporations get bailouts instead of building high-speed rail, instead of making places safe, instead of doing a lot of things. You know, we spent so many years just traumatizing people, going to wars and coming back and becoming awful members of society because traumatized soldiers, generation after generation after generation, which is what America's really built on, is the reason why we have these levels of mass psychosis, these levels of schizophrenia that's very dangerous, the level of homelessness that we have that's not just, you know, people from the foster care system, people that couldn't beat how capitalism runs faster than we all do, but veterans.